Lisa here, Mindful Tarot and hashtag 78 days. And today is day 6, the Hierophant. It's also August 20th and the day before the eclipse. I'm not quite in the path of totality where I live in Oregon, but 99%, something like that. So powerful stuff. Yeah. And interesting to be exploring the Hierophant. Actually, I'm doing today's video in my meditation tarot shrine room, and the way I set up my laptop, I'm right in front of the Buddha, which, is perfect for much of what I want to delve into today. So, the Hierophant, I think, for so many, is a card that's in shadow. This is you all know this. This is from the Abana Weight. You all know this card, right? You all know this traditional iconography, the ways in which it's 2 fingers. Of course it's 2 fingers. The ways in which the emblem points to exoteric and esoteric wisdom, what's revealed, what's hidden, the triple crown, which unites all the kingdoms, the scepter, the minions, this figure of the Pope, the double keys. This is the power that not just transcends temporal power in the traditional kind of papal iconography, but the double keys. This is both empire and the Holy Kingdom. The Pope. This is the whole structure of the trumps, that each card, which is seen as kind of progressively later in the sequence of the arcana, isn't just a sort of one step further. It actually incorporates what comes before. So the Hierophant isn't just sort of hierarchically above the emperor. The powers that the emperor embodies, the Hierophant also embodies. Anyway, all this traditional symbolism, the ways in which, we're so primed in the tarot for all of the dualism, all of the pairings and trade-offs, all of the, actives and passives, esoterics and exoterics, male and female, all of that. The 2 columns, the 2 subordinate figures, all of the ways in which this gets echoed in cards like the High Priestess, echoed in the Chariot, echoed in the Devil, echoed in the Moon. Everywhere the tarot primes us to see dualities and dualisms, and to see the ways in which there is that which is above and that which is below, and how order emerges out of that structure. And for so many of us, that framework, that very traditional allegorical framework, very Judeo-Christian, is not satisfying. And not satisfying, at least in part, because of the ways it's tied into histories of oppression, histories of patriarchy, histories of domination, seemingly from time immemorial. And as I'm, speaking to you today, as my country is just, embroiled in ridiculous moral equivalencies between the so-called alt-right and the so-called alt-left, it's always worth noting that dualisms, as we envision them, tend to dissemble, tend to erase the actual structures of domination and power. The fact that white supremacy is not kind of the right side of stuff that's also going on the left side, right? Okay. All that really tangent, and yet tied to the history of this card, the meaning of this card. This is not the card I wanted to show to you today, because for me, the Hierophant, and I loved what Kellyanne Maddox says in her video on cards in shadow about the Hierophant, and about her own struggles with that card, and the ways in which she made peace with the card by finding in it a prompting toward a kind of discipline that would give her life structure and her searching structure, that kind of self-compassion which takes the form of bringing discipline and study and a delineated path to one's seeking. That's, for me, what the Hierophant is, and it's tied to the way I understand lineage in Buddhism. What it means to say that, like 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama sat underneath a tree and said, I'm not getting up until I'm awakened and understand how suffering for all beings can be appeased, can be relieved. His awakening was not his own sole thing, but was a turning of a wheel that includes all of us and all of the whole shebang. So we all partake in that abundant realization. And yet, this guy sat down 2,500 years ago, and then he got up, and then he taught people, and then they taught other people, and then they taught other people. And this is what's so beautiful about Buddhism, is that the Dharma is completely whole and present in every moment, and it also flows through time, teacher to student. So there's both the perfection of wisdom available in every moment to each and all of us, every one of us, as our birthright, as sentient beings. It's already ours. And at the same time, things do get transmitted generation to generation and unfold through human lives and through individual human expressions. And that's how I understand the Hierophant. I understand the Hierophant in terms of that line of transmission that entails me bowing down to the realization of those who have come before, and me recognizing the truth of my own time-bound existence. So the card that I'm focusing on, the deck, is it's Brandy Eve Allen's Invisible Light Tarot, which is a very idiosyncratic and beautiful deck. The cards are quite evocative. Some of them really hit the money and some of them less so. And this is her Hierophant. What I love about this card is the way in which it transforms what can feel like static structure, you know, that kind of imperial, hierarchical scepter and dominion kind of vision, into movement. Movement that is a little mysterious, a little hidden. You know, you can't see the face of the person walking, a little solitary, but also the sense of this long train, you know, that I walk and I don't walk alone. I walk and I walk in the current of a whole stream of wind. In Zen, we sometimes talk about the mountain breezes. We like to talk about mountains and we like to talk about breezes. So, you know, that sense of this wind of the Dharma that moves with me, moves through me, that supports me, that keeps me aloft, that trails behind me. You know, for me, finding what it means to step into lineage, into relationship to my teacher, relationship to my Sangha, to my Dharma siblings, finding what that means has been a huge part of my path. What does it mean to find one's truth in relation to community, and a community that extends through time and is carried, handed down, generation by generation? The word tradition literally comes from the Latin meaning to hand, to give through, to give to transmit, to hand down. So what do we carry individually in our lives? And how do we carry that precious, beautiful heart of ours, the heart of our practice? How do we carry that to others? And how are we handed this beautiful gift by others? That's how I understand the movement of the Hierophant and the ways in which it ties the inner plunging into the depths of the high priestess to the kind of structure of control, authority, power, creation in the world that the emperor bespeaks. Okay, I think that's all I got. This is a long one this morning. Sorry about that. Thank you for your practice.